Hey everybody, Jed from Jed Demlow Productions coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee. Want to start this Jupiter X series of videos. I got my Jupiter X back in November of last year and I absolutely love it. It sounds fantastic. The day it arrived, I was super excited. And I got it out of the box and set it up, and I thought, I just want to do some videos on this thing just to kind of go over my journey and my experience that I've had with it, working on mainly country productions, believe it or not. And it's definitely found its way into a lot of my stuff. And so I want to share all that with you. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to note right up front when I got it out of the box and hooked it up. I turned it on and immediately start playing some stuff, and I'm thinking, oh, this is out of tune. So go to the main menu, and there's if you scroll down, you can find the warm up setting, and you can leave it on if you want. But every time you turn the keyboard on, it'll take a few minutes for it to warm up, just like a real Jupiter 8 or Jupiter 6 would. I don't want mine to do that. I need to start working right away. So I turned that off. And so, messed around, played a whole bunch of sounds and came back to it, took a little break, came back to it about an hour later, and it was turned off. And I'm thinking, well, no big deal, but it's got an auto shut off feature. So you may not want it to shut off, automatically. You may want it just to stay on all the time. And I leave mine on all the time in the studio because I just want to be able to be hands on with it and just walk up to it or have a client walk up to it at any second and just start playing and we can start recording and just get right into it. So, and by the way, the Jupiter X is like the client magnet. When they walk in my room, the first thing they do is they walk over to this thing and they're just like, wow, that is cool. What does that sound like? What do you do with that? So anyway, if you're thinking about getting a Jupiter X, I highly recommend it. Okay, so one of the first things that I would recommend that you do when you get it is to make sure you have the up-to-date operating system. Okay, the next thing that I would do is get yourself a free Rolling Cloud membership. So go to rollingcloud.com and then you can just click on memberships and you'll just have to go through the process. Anyone can get a free membership. And it's really cool because you can update or you can get the editor librarian here. And I would highly recommend it. So the editor's cool. I like to do all my tweaks and changes for sounds right on the keyboard because for me it's a lot faster, and I just enjoy having the hands-on feel of it. That's part of the reason why I bought it. But the big thing for me is the librarian. Whether you're going to use it live or whether you're just wanting to move sounds around in the studio, you can save all of your tweaks and all of your sounds can be saved to the librarian. And then once they're in there, you can put them in any order that you want. Like if you're doing sets live with a band and you need to move those sounds into a specific order, you can do it super quick inside the librarian. If you're in the studio and you just want to be able to get to your favorite sounds like super fast and just have them on a screen where you can just, see everything on a great big screen, the librarian is the way to go. So definitely download the librarian. You'll be glad you did. Okay, one other little thing that I wanted to mention that I think is important, at least it was for me, is the discovery that there are built-in speakers in this. And if you go to the menu, you can turn them on or turn them off. Now, they're not great speakers by any means. They've got virtually no bass, but you can kind of get the idea of what your patches sound like. But make sure that you know that if you plug headphones into the keyboard and you're listening via headphones, the sound is still coming out of those speakers. So if you're in a session with people recording and you're just going through your stuff on your keyboard and they're trying to tune, and you're going to drive them crazy if your speakers are not turned off in this thing. So make sure that if you're using headphones, turn the speakers off so that you're not bothering anybody else that might be in the room. So that was important for me anyway, as a studio musician. Okay, so the menu here is pretty straightforward. You've got your window here that's got your information in it, and then you have two dials. Now, these two dials, the left one here will scroll up and down through the menu, and this one will too as well. But when you get to a page within the menu, this one takes you up and down the pages, and then this one, the one on the right, allows you to change the amount, the increments, by one, two, whatever. So that's what these buttons basically do. Your page scrolling buttons here, you can use those to do the same thing. If you prefer to use these, you can toggle through that way. So you can use these round encoder type things, or you can use these little buttons to page through the different menus. Up to you. So we've got the transpose button here, which is pretty self-explanatory, and then you can pop octave up and down really quickly with these two switches here, which is nice. If you push them both at the same time, it will take you back to like a middle C setting. Okay, and then switch 1 is delay, switch 2 is hold on the envelope, and switch 3 is verb. So you can turn your reverb on and off with switch number 3, which is pretty cool. And then switch 2 would be your envelope hold feature, where you could turn that on and off if you wanted the sound to have a longer, hold type feature on it. And you can switch your delay on and off right here. Now, this is how it is when you get it out of the box. Now, these are all programmable too. So you could set this to whatever you would want it to be. You could change switch 1 to be the verb if you want. Turn your verb on and off. You could have switch 2 be delay. Turn that on and off. You could have switch 3 be chorus if you wanted it to. So you can do whatever you want with those. Okay, so these sliders right here, SL1 and SL2, they default to attack and release on your envelope. So that's kind of cool, and they're programmable. So you could change this, to decay or sustain or whatever you want to do. But just know that when you take it out of the box and get started, this one will control attack and this one will control release. Okay, so my favorite feature on the entire menu panel is this shift button right here. If you hold the shift button and touch any knob on the panel of the Jupiter X, like the filter knob, if you start to turn the filter knob while you're holding in the shift button, it will take you right to all of the editing parameters for the filter on the page. If you hold shift and turn the delay knob, it will take you to, the all of the settings, the timing settings and all that stuff for the delay. So that is really cool, and I use that feature constantly. So that's worth noting. Okay, so that's it for this one. Sorry it was really boring on this first one. The next one will be the arpeggiator, which will be a lot more fun and exciting. But there were, as you can see, there were a couple little things I think that are worth noting. That when you get it out of the box, it's not really self-explanatory, and you don't really know unless maybe somebody points it out to you. And a couple of those things are kind of important, or could be important to you. And hopefully this will save somebody out there some time and be worthwhile for somebody. Appreciate everybody watching. Please subscribe, and we'll be back to you again here in a little bit with the arpeggiator.